Hey everyone, wanted to pop back on here and talk about the Nemo visions I've had in the past, the clownfishes, and how they correlate with twin flames, how they form some form of union and stay that way and become, I guess, better in a way to help the environment they are in. And separately, they do such as well. These fishes are symbiotic in terms of their relationship, and how they come together is sort of how a bodily union is what it's called, a conjunctive symbiosis, and non-conjunctive when they're not in some form of physical union. Now, these fish do have other species in the ocean around them that sort of help them, whether they're protecting them or keeping them safe in some way, sheltering them. They do have other partners in the ocean, which goes well with the evolution I will speak about later on, with the coevolution, which, ecosystem-wise, it helps each other. They benefit off one another, which is also called mutualism. So I'm gonna go back to that later. These fishes help provide food and stuff such like that to their partners, I guess, in the ocean, while the partners help with protection. And over time, they both evolutionized and became, more prone to toxins, and others build a mucus coating against, I guess, predators, Yeah, but the symbiosis is between the two, and they're living together. They benefit off one another. It's a team effort, and it's also a mutualism between the two, and it's a long relationship, long term, between two species. It can be any species, it can be even separate species. It's just a relationship. They benefit off each other back and forth. Same goes with how bees help with the environment by spreading pollen around, and they helping the flowers grow, as well as the flowers providing them pollen, to take back to their nests and such. Though mutualism can be a relationship that's one benefiting off the other, this one is in terms of the two fishes benefiting off one another, or the fish is helping another species benefit together. They both benefiting off one another. For example, the clownfishes have a relationship with the sea anemones, and those are the things they live in. Those things are said to be, shocking wise, and they hurt other fishes if they do live in them or make contact with them, while the clownfish doesn't have no any sort of effect when they do enter those things, the tentacles of the type of flower or species that's in the ocean. You can see this in the movie as well, that the fishes live inside those tentacle things. I suppose over time, the mucus was developed or evolutionized and became part of the clownfish. It helped them be protected from the tentacles stinging them. They both have a relationship. I guess the clownfish sort of cleans that flower, as well as eats from the flower and get certain things from it, while the flower protects it. That's a form of mutualism. They benefit off one another. But then again, there are other forms of this sort of union. Not necessarily a union, but you have parasitic type of animals that attach to the host only to benefit. So, selfishly, they feed off the host, eventually either killing them or eventually just, harming them. And these are formed as like, ticks and fleas and lice and such, or worms and such like that invade the body and eventually, destroys it in some way. Over time, it said the hummingbirds were evolved, or they became more evolved with their mutualistic relationship they have with the flower. The nectar in the flower became beneficial to the bird's diet and their color as well. Their vision and all was shaped due to that. The shape of the flower, that is, fits with the bird's bill, and the vision. I mean, the color of the flower, I guess, goes well with the bird's line of vision, or is what it can see. It benefits off of it. And as you know, the flower benefits by the bird transferring pollen onto other plants or to other areas, so it can sprout there, sprout more flowers in that environment. That's just a form of evolution that became, part of with our ecosystem, just between these two species. Imagine what a clownfish has been doing for who knows how long. Imagine what twin flames can do, which I will get into later when the two come together, because there's a whole thing behind it, and I will do my best to explain it to you guys. So yeah, the clownfishes, wanted to go back to them real quick. They feed off of, eat the certain things that can harm the sea anemone, and then I can't even pronounce the word, anemone, sea anemone, the tentacle thing that protects them. They feed on what's in there that's harming the plant while they are protected, of course. And it just goes so well with all of the things I've learned over time with this whole journey with twin flames and such. It just goes so well with how evolution works and how we help each other evolve, and how two beings or two species can come together to help either their family line or any type of line of other animals and whatnot, because that's what twin flames are also here to do. Even though many people are here to help, no matter what, we're all equal. We're all here to do a job, as if you are here to do that. Some have come here to just enjoy Earth for what it has at the moment, or what it's going through at the moment, which is evolution and evolving into 5D and such like that. But yeah, for what I was told, this pertains to twin flames, so that's why I'm mentioning twin flames and the relationship between the two, the union, because it's a physical and a spiritual union, which it can go hand in hand no matter what. There's a physical and a spiritual in a way, which is why majority, I will say all of feminines, I don't know for sure, I gotta get confirmation, but I know that as a feminine, I've catered more towards the spiritual aspects of things, which helped my masculine in that area, and I helped a lot in that department with telepathy and my gifts and his gifts. We both became better over time. And he started off, he helped me with the physical matters and guided me towards better confidence and such like that. Confidence, it was early on when he started with doing that for me. But it's a relationship, it's a balance. That's why I say the conjunctive relationship between the clownfish is a physical one, while there's a non-conjunctive would be the non-physical one, which would be the spiritual. But over time, I believe that you will eventually have that spiritual connection with your twin flame to build on before the physical union comes into play. That's why in previous messages on my Instagram, there was a period where a lot of masculines were trying to get into contact with the feminine, and then they have come into contact with the feminine, and they built off their relationship from that. Many went to unions over the summer, even. But yeah, it's a sort of a timeline behind it, and it's to be safe, of course. It's to be guided on the right path of things, so you can go into a relationship equal instead of one benefiting off the other. That's why you have to have a balance, spiritual and physical, in a way. Now, when they do come together, who knows what, but I was seen, and I've seen and was told certain things pertaining to when they come together, when twin flames do. And the energy is undescribable. I would just say it's euphoric in a way, holy, and I don't know how to describe it, but the energy is so powerful. and we're just trying to anchor the energy down. That's why you have to be balanced between you and your counterpart, you know. And then when you're spiritually balanced, and when you two are, working in the spiritual, that through telepathy and such, you communicate and you're in contact in some way. You've gone through what you needed to. You release all that stuff you needed to. You work through the issues that you need to work through. Not that I'm not saying that you don't have more to work on, because you still need to better yourself for physical union. But the physical things, and you have to let go of the old emotional ties and old family issues. And then when you're leading towards physical, you have to work on the the grounded things, the money, the job, and such like that. When you're working towards physical, you have to have a balance to where you both are stable. Stability has to be a major aspect of it. It's a huge aspect of it. And you're working on stopping or ending old relationships or toxic relationships from the past, whether that be family or friends, who knows. You're just working on any of those, because you have to end those before you two can have the energy to come together. Believe me, I've experienced this. I was told this. I was shown this. And I was shown what it can, in a way, it can harm you, how it can harm you if you don't let these sort of relationships go. So I've continuously do my share of letting go of certain individuals. Not saying like there's no future period where we can come together, be friends and whatnot, family. But some people are not moving in a certain direction. They rather stay with old paradigms. So in order for you to move on, you have to sort of let them go. And not saying they cut off completely, unless they're just horrible for your relationship. Then do what you must to better yourself. But you know what I mean. It goes well with the Simpson message I've actually posted previously regarding family ties, and how solely everyone is sort of working on family history and family lines by working on themselves. And I've seen the physical proof of this, how helping myself become this better person, displaying this form of person, because I am who I am now. This is me authentically, and this person has sort of trickled into family. It helped my aunt, my uncle, it helped my brothers, my mother, and it's almost unbearably. It causes you to wonder, like, wow, is this really real? And it's so real. And I've witnessed it. I felt it. The energy is completely different. I'm a completely different person than where I was 6 months ago. I digress there. I wanted to mention more on the relationship, though. Over time, I will see if I can mention more about this, but I'm just going to sort of give a glimpse of heights I've reached pertaining to spiritual and my physical, my spiritual abilities and such, and the new abilities that came after that. There's telepathy and such. Many people have, many twins have, but there's a point where your telepathy can reach heights. It can reach sort of, I guess you can say, global wise, and some things can be hard to hear. Some others, might be good and whatnot. But eventually, like, for twins, they'll meet or get in contact with their counterpart, and you'll discuss what you need to. And I don't know if it's to go for all twins, but I feel like the masculine will start to help the feminine pertaining to areas in their lives, and they can see through it. You might not know that your masculine can see you, but believe you me, he can or she can. And you can astral travel as well. I know I've done my fair share of astral traveling to my counterpart, seeing them in their environment or seeing them do whatever, or picked up on them telepathically. You can hear them, you can do such like that. We're so intertwined with each other. But that masculine would start to help the feminine, and that's that form of union they have together, like the clownfishes. And they're benefiting off one another because of he's learning to, or he or she, are building on their abilities. They're becoming better with their abilities, whereas you are also learning more with your abilities, but you're also getting things done through the physical, whether he's that he or she are warning you of certain individuals, so you can avoid problematic issues that can be coming from the individual. It's to be stuff like that. They could be warning you days ahead, months ahead, weeks ahead. But yeah, stuff like that can be happening for some twin flames, and it's a form of union with each other. And that's, I would call it a more of a spiritual connection, but right then and there, a union right then and there for the two. They're so intertwined with each other spiritually. He can see whether you're about to walk into something harmful or not, or he or she can see it. Sorry. What's also crazy is that the together messages that I've posted on Instagram, which I've seen recently how it correlate well with the symbiosis message from the clownfish, or what the symbiosis aspect, which is called, living together in Greek, or together, living. And it's so crazy how that goes hand in hand to the together messages I've received and I put out on Instagram, which spoke on masculines speaking to the feminines, saying that they want to be together with them, which is that's a form of union. They were saying that they want that, and I put that out, that a lot of them did want that. And then eventually, it came. The summer unions have come. More unions will follow this year, and then there's others next year. It's just baffling on some degree how everything lines up, and it makes sense when you sort of experience it, of course, and then when you have your confirmations physically and spiritually. Oh yeah, and there will be heights where spiritual wise, guys, I swear you will you just know that there will be some type of physical spiritual contact, and it's real. Just those who are twins, they know what I'm saying, or they know who have experienced this. They know what I'm talking about, where there's that engagement that can come between the two. It's like a spiritual thing. It's very spiritual. And it's not how, previous ones were, but it's like, those physical, spiritual aspects, and it sort of intertwined. I can't really explain it. I'm not even sure if I should, because some things got to be remain sacred, because some people can twist certain things and try to make it seem what it's not. That's completely why I'm very offish about mentioning certain things until I get confirmation that it's okay to mention it. The Nemo message was something I should put out. This is what twin flames do. They're becoming in this union. Yeah, before I end things, though, I wanted to just mention that, it will be this form of powerful spiritual thing that you two can experience together. And if you already experienced that, you know what I'm talking about. For those who are in some form of spiritual union or communicating with their twin flame through spiritual, you know what I mean? Yeah, just trust that this experience it makes sense, and eventually you both will line up, and you'll go through your many periods of, new beginnings, and I forgot what new beginnings and new cycles, such like that. You'll go through those, and it will be better in the relationship, better in you guys. So yeah, just keep your faith, keep the focus, trust. Believe me, those things are major aspects to this. Trust, keep faith, keep your focus, stay guarded as well. Know that I will do a video on attacks, because attacks can come very, very strongly during some form of union between the two. Believe me when I say that. So I will do a video on that later, and I will talk about also how it interacts with telepathy-wise. When you two communicate through telepathy, how interference comes more frequently when you do. Yeah, so take care, everybody. Talk to you guys later. Be safe. Love ya.